Two. All right, hello everybody. This is the third episode of the Exploring Cinema podcast. I'm joined here by my guest and pal Anthony, who is the co-host of the Great Raiders of the Lost podcast. Say hello, Anthony.
Hey everyone, what's up, pal? Thanks for having me on the show.
No problem. So today, Anthony and I are going to be discussing our top favorite movie characters of all time. So, at least mine aren't really in any order till the very end. But yeah, you ready to go, Anthony?
Let's do it. I'll start with Daniel Plainview from There Will Be Blood, played by Daniel Day-Lewis. It's one of my favorite characters. It's my favorite movie, and I think it's the best performance of all time. And it's just a really fascinating character watching Daniel Plainview on his journey, and it's just a remarkable role.
That's a good pick. That's a really good pick. Yeah, Daniel's such an interesting person to watch, and just like his mannerisms, like everything's just captured. It's like Daniel Day-Lewis turned himself into a whole nother person.
Every time.
All right, my 20th pick is Henry Hill from Goodfellas. He's played by Ray Liotta. This is one of my favorite movies. It used to be my favorite movie for a long time until I watched a few other ones, and then a few more kind of grew on me. But yeah, Henry Hill, such a great character. I think he's a total horrible person like Daniel Plainview. But Liotta's performance of him was great, and a lot of people say in this movie that Liotta was a one-hit wonder. That it was a one-hit wonder type of performance. I don't know about that necessarily. I haven't watched enough of his filmography to make that call.
He's been used well in The Place Beyond the Pines. He's very good.
Okay, I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, but Henry Hill's like the cool. You could say he's the coolest character ever in movies.
Yeah, that's very debatable. Or if you could make a really good case for it, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, exactly. Next up, I have Erin Brockovich from the movie Erin Brockovich, played by Julia Roberts. This is a really amazing Steven Soderbergh film. It might be his best movie in his entire filmography, and Julia brought so much to the role. Really fascinating true story about a woman taking down a giant company with this famous lawsuit, and it's just an amazing female character, so unique, so entertaining. Very strong woman, and I just adore this entire movie.
Yeah, I have heard great things about it. She won an Oscar for that role, right?
Indeed, she did.
Oh, great. My number 19 pick is Norman Bates from Psycho. I think he's super, super interesting. He's like he's sick in a sick way. He's like charismatic. He's a hypnotic character. I think you enjoy watching him and his internal conflicts. I'm not going to spoil the movie because that's one that you need to watch for sure. Every single human being before they die. It's the one film that has successfully terrified me. But yeah, I think Norman is super, super interesting. His what I said earlier, his internal battle is really, really cool. The way that he toys with, I guess, would you call it like a bipolar type thing?
Split personality.
Split personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's so fascinating to watch. It's really, really great.
Anthony Perkins was ahead of his time in terms of the performance. It's really an amazing performance.
Absolutely. It doesn't get talked about nearly enough as it should.
No, not at all. Next up, I have Alonzo Harris from Training Day. The Oscar-winning performance from Denzel Washington. He won his second Oscar for this. It's one of my favorite cop movies, and I think he's the best cop ever put on screen. Not to say that all cops are like this, but just a fascinating new kind of cop to see in a movie. And he brought so much to the role. The director said that he improvised most of his dialogue, and it's just the genius of Denzel Washington at work and the creation of this character, also based on a real cop.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one either, but I've heard very, very good things about that film for sure.
Yeah, it's great. When you're old enough to watch it, you make it one of your first ones to watch.
All right, definitely. All right, number 18, we've got Karen Hill, played by Lorraine Bracco in Goodfellas. You have some nerve standing me up. Who do you think you are, Frankie Valli or some kind of big shot? Oh, she's so funny, and to see her character progression go from just Henry's feisty girlfriend to his partner in crime when he's running his drug business.
Yeah, by the end,
is really interesting. Like I was rewatching The Last Day as a Wise Guy scene, and she's just like helping him out now, just compared to the other. She's like, let me have a hit, and he's like, oh, you want to see helicopters fly, darling? Like, it's just such an interesting shift in her personality. It's really, really cool to watch.
Yeah, she really is one of the best parts about the movie. She really, we needed that female voice and perspective in that film with
Absolutely.
all the boys.
Yeah.
Next up, I have Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs.
Mm.
Anthony Hopkins is Oscar-winning performance with only, I think, like 20 minutes of screen time. He
Yeah,
is
16.
still
16.
16. So, but
Yeah.
like when you think about Silence of the Lambs, you picture Anthony Hopkins all over the place. But that's how impactful his character was and his interpretation of the Lecter character. And Lecter, I think, is one of the most fascinating characters written in literature over the last 100 years. And it's just like generational kind of movie role that everyone knows.
Right. It's a once in a lifetime type of character for sure.
Yeah.
And to be put on screen that well, like we see psychos all the time, but no one is near. I guess Anthony Perkins' portrayal is pretty unsettling, but it's more so like lovable in a sense. But with
There's nothing to like. Yeah, he comes off as
Yeah.
very sweet and naive.
yeah, but with Anthony Hopkins' performance, he's just downright creepy, and like I would not want to sit next to this guy. Like
No way.
He's so creepy, and his like expensive taste, and he's all like, yeah. If you look at, there's a really cool like mini documentary on YouTube called Analyzing Evil. It's about Hannibal Lecter, and I don't know if you've listened to it or not, but it really does explain like why he does what he does, just taking from books and TV shows and other films, and all the canon about the character. It's very interesting how he developed his specific taste.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's like 40 minutes long, but it's worth your time for sure.
Nice.
All right, my next pick is Sergeant Major John from Glory, played by Morgan Freeman. Denzel won best actor for this film, right?
Supporting actor.
Supporting actor. It was his first Oscar, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
But he, I think more so than Denzel's performance, I really do prefer Morgan Freeman's because he's super down to earth, and he kind of keeps everyone in line, if that makes sense. Like he is a strong rock everyone's anchored to. Because if he weren't there, I think they would all have
Oh yeah, he's
failed
like the
very
father of the
early
group.
on. Right.
Yeah.
He makes sure everyone's not acting up. He's such an
It's a
interesting
terrific,
character.
Yeah, terrific performance.
Absolutely.
Next up, I have Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men. One of my favorite movies, and Javier Bardem just scared the boots out of everyone. He was just fascinating in this role. Every time he's in a scene with someone, you're just absolutely horrified. You don't know what's going to happen next. Javier is just such a talented actor. In real life, he seems super pleasant and personable and charming, but then to see him in this role, you can't even believe it's the same person.
And that haircut's unbeatable, man. It's
The
incredible.
bob.
Oh yeah. All right, for my next pick, I have Eduardo Savron from The Social Network, portrayed by Andrew Garfield, and I think this was Andrew's breakout performance, and I think he did such a good job with it. And I mean, let's be honest, for all you Andrew Garfield fangirls, I know many of you personally, you would never get your Spider-Man if you never got your Eduardo Savron. So
Yeah.
I think that this is a career-building role for him. I think I don't think it got nominated for anything, did it?
The movie?
The performance.
No, he didn't get nominated for
Yeah.
anything major.
He should have. It was definitely one of the best breakout performances I have ever seen.
Oh yeah, he should have been nominated for supporting actor for sure.
Absolutely.
That's big snub. Next up, I have Ellen Ripley from Alien and Aliens, and yeah, just those two. The other ones you can pass. But Sigourney Weaver, she was the first female action hero in these movies. And she's what makes the movies work ultimately. Her performances and her character of Ripley, you can't help but love her and follow her and just root for her to survive each one of these adventures. And she's just one of the best characters in sci-fi film history.
Yeah, that's another one I have not gotten around to seeing. This is the Alien franchise, but I've heard great things about them for sure.
Oh yeah, the first two.
All right, my next pick is Macbeth from The Tragedy of Macbeth, played by Denzel Washington. Have the nominations for the Oscars come out yet for this year?
Not yet. They'll come out in February. They'll come out.
All right, so we don't know if he's going to get nominated for anything, but I'll
bet $1,000 on it.
Yeah, I mean, I can assume he'll get nominated for Best Actor. I'm going to hold you to that, Anthony, too. No, but Denzel's performance in this is really really good. I think that this take on the classic story is super. I guess you call it like independent, like not only because I guess it is an independent film, but also it it's very different than anything we've ever seen. You figure like with the majority of the film being shot on a sound stage, I think was very interesting, and it wasn't one of those just like silly little green screen sound stages. Like this was a very detailed set. They put a lot of work into it, and I think that the angles, especially the camera angles, are a huge standout for this film.
Oh, 100%. One of my favorites of the year.
Yeah, it's my second favorite, right underneath Dune, for sure.
Yeah.
But it was the best of the year in my opinion. That was definitely the best of the year.
Next up, I have Annie Wilkes from Misery, played by Kathy Bates. She won an Oscar for this role, opposite James Caan. The Stephen King novel and this film adaptation made by Rob Reiner are terrifying. She's one of the greatest evil villains we've ever seen on film. Doesn't get talked out about enough, but I think that she is so fascinating and an amazing performance from Kathy Bates.
I need to look into that one too, man. You're so ahead. You're so ahead with your film knowledge. No surprise there. All right, for my next pick, I have the dude from The Big Lebowski. That is just my opinion, though. So, I would say that the dude is so funny. Not necessarily represents, but I can see a lot of people that I know personally living this life in the future. No offense to you, great people, but no, the dude, he's so funny. Just he's so lazy, and that's like his one character trait, but it totally works. Like he's hysterical, and he's so quotable too. I mean, I don't know, he just doesn't. He's also pretty stupid, honestly. Like if you really look at him, like he's super dumb. Like he does a lot of dumb stuff, but it comes out as humor, and it's just great. It's a 10 out of 10 character. Jeff Bridges is hysterical.
Great pick. It's an amazing character and movie. Next up, I have the Joker from The Dark Knight. Heath Ledger's performance obviously revolutionized, what people thought of superhero movies and superhero characters. Chris Nolan made the greatest comic book film that will ever exist, and the movie's only as good as its villain. And The Dark Knight is so great because of Heath Ledger's Joker.
And that reminds me, today is the 14-year anniversary of Heath's passing.
Oh, that's too bad.
But as of recording this is the 22nd. I don't. Probably this will probably be released. I don't know, like 9 days from now.
So sad.
But I don't remember that personally. I was a year and a half old, but you get the point. He is very very sad, his passing. All right, my next pick, I have Clarice Starling from The Silence of the Lambs, played by Jodie Foster. I've already covered this movie in my first episode, so if you want to actually know a lot about the character, look into that, because that episode's more just so based on the actual characters themselves, because there was so much to go through the movie. I kind of wanted to keep the episode on the shorter side. It was a little shorter than I would have wished, but it's out and it's doing well. So,
nice.
Yeah, but Clarice is such an interesting character. Jodie Foster got her rightful Oscar for this film.
Her second one.
It was her second one? What was her first?
Yeah, she won for The Accused.
I have not heard of that one before, actually.
Yeah. She made that I think like 7 years before The Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, okay. So that was one of her newer ones, or not newer, but she was younger in that one then.
Yeah.
All right. So all right, what have we got next, Anthony?
Next, I got Tyler Durden from Fight Club. Brad Pitt's Tyler Durden. He's just like the coolest guy, and everyone loved him when it came out, and everyone had like Fight Club posters. And Tyler Durden was so influential, and we had never seen a character or a movie like this before. And I think everyone was like looked at Tyler and was like, "That's like the coolest guy imaginable."
Yeah, it's a super trippy movie for sure. It's a lot of fun to watch though, and that plot twist is amazing.
Spoilers.
Oh, sorry, I didn't say what it was. We
still get people leaving horrible comments because I spoiled The Godfather.
Came out 50 years ago in a few months, but yeah. I mean, no, go watch The Godfather, for goodness sake, for your own good.
No, but the thing is, if someone says that, they're never gonna watch the movie if they haven't already.
Right, like unless they're like unless it's like a 10-year-old kid who just can't watch it
Yeah,
yet. But
yeah.
yeah, I know I totally agree with that. All right, my next pick is Rick Dalton from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, played by Leonardo DiCaprio. This was one of, I would say, the best performances of that year. There were a lot of good ones, but I think that Adam Driver's A Marriage Story was the best, to be honest. But
Yeah, he's great.
yeah, Rick Dalton, he's so funny. He's super contradictory. Like, I mean, just this his drinking antics are so funny to watch.
Goddamn hippies.
Yeah, he's just goofing off all the time. He's so funny. And I think I don't have Cliff Booth on this list, but his chemistry with Brad Pitt in this movie is incredible. I think it rivals the chemistry in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid for sure. I mean, I just think they work so well together.
Yeah, icons.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Next up, I have E.T. the Extraterrestrial. I think it's the best children's movie ever made, and E.T. is such a lovable creature and beautiful story about the connection he and Elliot make, and it's a terrific, terrific film. And E.T. was like the beloved by everybody when it came out. It's one of still to this day, I believe in the top 10 highest grossing movies of all time when adjusted for inflation.
I think you're right. I was looking at that list the other day. I think you're right on that. All right, my next pick, I have Oscar Schindler from the great film Schindler's List. I think that the performance by Liam Neeson was amazing, and it just elevated the movie to like new heights. Like it would, I feel like it would have been very, very, very good, and I still think it would have been very acclaimed if he were to not be casted as Oscar Schindler. But this just brought it to a whole new level, to be honest.
Yeah, he was perfect.
Yeah, I mean, he down to the height. He was I mean, his physical features were very similar to Oscar as well. He looks a lot like him. And his
Just way more handsome.
Oh yeah. If you want to go there, sure. But Oscar's character shift is very, very good from beginning to end in the film.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Next up, I have HAL 9000 from 2001: A Space Odyssey, one of the best villains of all time. And, I mean, it's just a genius way to portray a sci-fi film by having a computer be the main antagonist of the story. And what really ties it together is when he's being unplugged and shut down, and he's telling him that he's scared and that he's afraid of death. And to hear that from an AI was so powerful.
Brings a whole new feeling to letting your phone run out of battery. All right, my next pick, I have Coach Boone from Remember the Titans, played by the great Denzel Washington. I think this is one of his most underrated performances. Like, I mean, this is definitely by no means an underrated movie, but just the performance in itself, I don't think really gets talked about nearly enough.
I think it's an underrated movie. It's so good. I think it's up there with top sports movies of all time.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
So
and reminder, little sneak peek. Your brother is going to be on with me next week, and we're going to be talking about the best sports movies ever made. So,
nice.
Feel free to tune in, everyone. It's going to be really good.
That'll be a good one.
But yeah, we'll have to be sure to talk about Remember the Titans in that one.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's his ability to balance the more dramatic parts with the humor. It's just flawless. It's incredible.
100%. Next up, I have Beatrix Kiddo from the Kill Bill movies. Uma Thurman's amazing character, co-created with Quentin Tarantino. Just a genius idea to have samurais in the modern world and have this great female lead to be the lead of this action movie, as opposed to every other revenge thriller. 99% of the time, it's been men. And so I think that Tarantino really did something really special, and Beatrix is such a fun, interesting, confident, powerful, take no prisoners character.
Yeah, she's very, very interesting. Just from an outside perspective, I have not seen that one either. But Quentin Tarantino is very skilled when it comes to filmmaking, so I can only imagine how great it is.
Oh yeah.
All right, my next pick, you already mentioned earlier, is Tyler Durden from Fight Club. As you said, played by Brad Pitt. I just think that he's the epitome of a cool character. I think he's what every guy wants to be. Really, he's got everything, right? Even a very successful business, but Brad Pitt's portrayal is very good. I don't know if it got very much critical acclaim.
No,
Do you know? Yeah, but
it got terrible reactions and horrible box office. Ironically,
oh right, because I knew it didn't do well at the box office, but I didn't know how well it would do
yeah,
critically.
critics didn't
That's interesting.
understand it. Yeah.
That's interesting. I mean, I guess a lot of people to this day still kind of hate the character. So
Yeah, it's about like really understanding what the character is. A lot of people look at it on the surface, but
right,
that movie's a lot deeper than
Than it
people
looks.
give it credit for. Yeah.
yeah, it's supposed to
Next
be
up-
showing. Yeah. Never
Oh
mind.
yeah,
Continue.
100%. I got Jules Winfield from Pulp Fiction in a movie with so many memorable characters. I think that Jules is the top of the mountain. He's so fantastic. Sam Jackson's performance, it's his best. He has amazing monologues that he just chews through with ease, and he's so funny, so intimidating and terrifying, and extremely cool. And it's just the image of Jules with that black suit and the Jerry curls, such iconic image in
Yeah.
film history. And
I mean, even
think
if you,
you got to put him on this list for sure.
I mean, even with just like a silhouette picture of Jules and Vincent, like
Yeah,
you really,
exactly.
it everyone knows exactly what it's going to be. If they're like, there's like no, you don't even see like the white shirt underneath. It's just like the actual shape.
Yeah.
Like you can just tell.
All you need is a shape, yeah.
All right, my next pick, I have Randall McMurphy from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Another super underrated movie, at least in the modern era, in my opinion. I know it cleaned up shop at the Oscars back in 1975, but I definitely think that this one should be talked about more. Honestly, I think it's Nicholson's best performance. Like,
It could be.
I mean, Jack Torrance is great and all, but really, Randall McMurphy steals the show for the entire film. So I think that this one really did change the way a lot of people look at acting and mental health, to be honest. It was huge for that as well.
Plus a tragic ending.
Absolutely.
Next up, I have Maximus Decimus Meridius from Gladiator, one of my favorite movies by Ridley Scott. And Russell Crowe is just so amazing. I think it's the greatest depiction of a hero character in cinema. It's like I would follow this guy into battle if he wanted me to. And I've watched this many times, and I still cry at the end. I'm still, whenever he gives these awesome speeches, like when he's talking to Commodus, it's just like that pumps me up. I'm like, yeah, let's go. So Maximus is just one of my favorite characters of all time.
He's such an exciting character from a very exciting movie, honestly. And, you know, Hans Zimmer's score really does help a whole lot with all that, too, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
All right, my next pick, I have Red from The Shawshank Redemption, released in 1994. I don't know why I gave it the release date, but let's just roll with it. In a year full of great performances, I think Red really was the best that I have seen from that year, to be quite honest. Honestly, Tom Hanks and Forrest Gump's very good, but I just feel like Red kind of grows on you more. And Morgan Freeman's portrayal of a man who's trying to find redemption but doesn't quite know how is very, very, very good. And this was his big break. He was, 42? Like, he was on the older side, too.
Yeah.
No offense if you're 42. I'm not trying to call you old, but it's a bit late to get your big break in Hollywood at that age.
I can't remember. I think Driving Miss Daisy came out before that.
Oh, was that his big break then?
That was 89. Yeah, that was his big break. Yeah, 89.
Oh, gotcha. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
Oh,
Don't unfollow me. Don't.
Morgan's been in a lot of
Yeah.
movies, so it's easy to mix it up. But yeah, I believe he won the Oscar for Driving Miss Daisy.
Gotcha.
But Red is an amazing character. Great addition to your list.
Absolutely.
Next up, I have Patrick Bateman from American Psycho. Christian Bale is absolutely amazing in this movie. It's darkly comedic, graphic, disturbing, messed up, hilarious, and directed by Mary Herron. She's a great director, and I just think that full stop. This is a extremely quotable movie, and it's an amazing, amazing performance by Christian Bale. Really was his catalyst to becoming a movie star.
Yeah, it was. If we never got American Psycho, we would have never had Batman Begins or The Dark Knight. Kind of like how if we never had Eduardo, we would have never had the Amazing Spider-Man.
It was his first leading man role ever.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and I'm curious to see how DiCaprio would have done in the role. It would have been very interesting.
He would have been good, but I don't think he would have captured the humor like Christian Bale did.
Yeah, Christian Bale is a very charismatic actor in everything that he's in.
I highly doubt that Leo would have been as funny.
Yeah, no, I think that he definitely is. I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's pretty funny, but yeah, I don't think that's necessarily his biggest gift in acting.
Yeah, and plus it's Tarantino's dialogue mostly, but I think he's gotten funnier as an adult. But I think that time in his career, he wasn't doing he wasn't. I didn't look at him as being someone who could be funny. Whereas Christian Bale just cracks me up the entire time I watch that movie.
You know why he didn't accept the role, right?
Yeah, he didn't get. He wanted 20 mil.
No, I mean like with DiCaprio, like you know why he didn't actually want to be Patrick Bateman.
No.
So he was at a I want to say it was like a
Oh yeah. He didn't want to ruin
yeah
the way his audiences viewed him.
his
Yeah.
manager and him like they went to a
Yeah.
baseball game and she like convinced him to, or as a reporter she convinced him to not take it there.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's what I've heard. I think it was either a Sox or a Yankees game, but yeah, it was
Yeah, it's
very
either that
interesting.
or he was getting 20 mil a movie, and the budget of the whole movie was 5 mil. So I think it was money more than anything.
And that's
They
the
couldn't
driving
they couldn't
force for a
afford
lot
him.
of stuff.
Yeah, he did the beach instead.
Stupid Leo, but
But the beach
anyways,
paid him 20 million.
yeah, no, it's very true. I mean, he wants the money, and he was just starting out, so it would make sense why he would. All right, for my next pick, I have Travis Bickle, played by Robert De Niro from Taxi Driver. Travis is such a pitiful human being. It's funny in some circumstances. Like towards the beginning of the movie, like he's like you oddly feel sad for him, but at the same time you're like, this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like he just keeps kind of making dumb decisions. He's like a slightly more serious Rupert Pupkin, in my opinion.
Yeah,
That's kind of the way I see it.
I actually have Travis Bickle right here on my list too.
All right, go ahead and
But yeah,
cover him.
I think it's the best character piece ever put on film. It's a fascinating character,
Yeah.
disturbing, challenging. You never seen. There still hasn't been a character made like it before. It's this weird tone that Scorsese and De Niro pulled off. This like balancing act between like just pushing it boundaries far enough where the audience still wants to follow him, and just always just like nearly crossing the line. And it's just a really terrific, amazing performance.
Right. He's so hard to dislike, but at the same time, you know you shouldn't like him very much.
Yeah.
All right. Mine, I guess, do you have any picks after that, or should I keep going?
I have a couple more, yeah.
All right, sweet. Go ahead.
I have V from V for Vendetta, played by Hugo Weaving in the graphic novel adaptation. I think it's a terrific film, still even relevant to this day. Such an entertaining physical performance because he wears a mask the whole time, but still Hugo is such an expressive actor with his voice and the way he moves. He does so much in the role, and it's just a fascinating character, a fun, challenging, terrific role. Also, awesome action. I really love what V represents in the idea of the story. Really terrific.
Gotcha. That's another one I need to watch. I actually didn't know it was a. Isn't it like a DC? Didn't they produce the graphic novel?
Alan Moore, who did Watchmen, he wrote it.
Gotcha. Okay, I was about to say I kind of group those in my head sometimes. All right, so at this point in my list, it's starting to get into the ranked segment. So without further ado, here we go. All right, for my next pick, I have Jimmy Conway from Goodfellas, played by Robert De Niro. He's so interesting to watch. I know I've said that with a lot of these characters, but the way he goes from like super relaxed, very cool character to like a paranoid, like he's a paranoid. He's
Paranoid
hurting
killer.
himself. Honestly, yeah. I mean, he's cold blooded.
Kills all his friends.
He's a monster. Spoilers, Anthony. What if the kids haven't seen it?
Yeah, he does. He does become a He goes through a lot of transformational change in that movie.
He does. He's like a father figure for a little bit. If you catch that, like just in montage, I guess you can kind of see it,
Oh yeah, for sure.
especially at the very beginning.
Yeah, it's a great role.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, I have Hans Landa from Inglourious Bastards. Genius creation by Tarantino. I think he's one of the most terrifying villains we've ever seen. Whenever he's on screen, you're just like, when I saw it in theaters for the first time, and when Hans Landa pulled up on screen, every time I was like, what's going to happen? What's he going to do? Terrific performance by Christoph Waltz. One of the best of the century. The way he just spouts out all of Tarantino's dialogue is really impressive. He deserved the Oscar. and such an iconic role in what it's my favorite Tarantino movie as well.
Yeah, he got awarded for that one, right?
What's that?
He got awarded for that role, right?
Yeah, he won the Oscar.
Yeah, I was about to say it was that, and then another film he got awarded for. I don't really remember
Django
which.
Unchained.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. All right, my next pick, I have Billy Costigan from The Departed. This is one of my favorite movies, played by Leo DiCaprio. It's got such a great
there?
cast.
Was I not there? When I got the call,
Are you waiting for me to chop me up and feed me to the poor? Is that what you
when I got
want?
the signal, I got the call. Was I here?
I puked in a trash barrel on the way over here. I'm having panic attacks. I mean, he's crazy.
Yeah, we do. I still call all trash cans a barrel. It's a Boston thing.
Oh, I'm sure. I thought with all the years of that being all you hear. I don't know if it's all you hear, but after being around that for a while, I can believe it'll stick with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, Billy, he's such an interesting character. What did Leo describe him as? A walking panic attack, right? 24/7 panic attack.
Yeah, he's crazy. He's a great role. Great role. He should have won. He should have been nominated for that.
Yeah, instead of Red Diamond. But he's not like a psycho or anything. He's just losing his mind just because sheer stress and anxiety.
Yeah, he's a kid who's just been put in a horrible situation.
Right, you feel bad for him the whole time, but you still want him to succeed.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Next up, I have Harry Potter from the Harry Potter franchise. I think it's one of the best stories ever written, and I think that Harry Potter, out of all of the characters, is still the greatest character that J.K. created. His morality, his goodness, his willingness to sacrifice are his greatest strengths, and and his ability to love. And the themes of these films and these books are so powerful and so human, and I always will put him on my list of favorite characters.
I know you're a big fan of Harry Potter, you and James both, but I gotta ask, do you prefer Lord of the Rings, or do you want to stick with Harry?
Harry Potter.
That was a quick answer.
HP over everything, bro.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that, but we'll agree to disagree. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're entitled to your opinion. That's just like your opinion, man.
Yeah, it's just my opinion. All right, my next pick, you already mentioned. I'm in my top 3 at this point. I've got the great Hannibal Lecter, who I talked about on the other podcast, and we've already mentioned him here. So Hannibal Lecter, played by Anthony Hopkins, amazing movie. It's on Prime Video right now. You guys should check it out.
Oh yeah, I actually almost watched it last night, but then it was a little too late.
Yeah.
Next up, my final character is 007, James Bond himself. The longest running franchise of all time so far.
Really?
In movie history, yeah. It's the longest running.
I see it. What's like 28 films, right?
26, I believe.
26.
And I actually just saw No Time to Die for the second time in IMAX last night.
Yeah, how was that? It
was great. They did a re-release for the weekend only, and it was just, once again, mind-blowing. It's my favorite Bond movie. But I think the James Bond character, he's so iconic in film. A bunch of great performers, a lot of great movies, some silly ones, but for the most part, they're really great. And also, what's really great about the characters, they've been able to make them evolve and change with the times, with culture. So now, Daniel Craig's James Bond is very different from the Sean Connery James Bond, and I'm sure the next Bond will be a even more nuanced and culturally relevant interpretation of the character, like they did with Craig. But Craig is my guy. He's my favorite Bond. Skyfall, No Time to Die, Casino Royale, all just like amazing movies. And I think that if you're going to talk about movie characters, you got to put Bond on your list.
Absolutely. I have not seen any of the Bond films, so just out of curiosity, and if any of the viewers, or I guess listeners rather, haven't seen any of his films, how has in what way is the Craig Bond different than the Connery Bond?
Well, so like the Connery, Roger Moore, he was always just like a womanizer, a bit of a misogynist. The villains were pretty silly. The action was pretty silly. It was still a lot of spectacle and a good time, but it's still really terrific. And
right.
But just like in the context of the modern era, especially post 9/11, The gritty realism that has been brought into a lot of film after the turn of the century. Craig and the producers and filmmakers made Bond more nuanced. They gave him love interests, like actual, intimate partners, which is like very, very different from the past Bonds, where he was just a womanizer. You also empathize a lot with him, and they really tapped into the psyche of this man who has a license to kill, what kind of man he is internally, and also gave him a lot of emotional stakes and conflicts to deal with throughout the films, and also they generally connected all the films together into one kind of overarching story, which hadn't been done before. But they just really grounded the character. It's not like gritty, grounded action, but gritty, grounded character development is what really Craig brought to it more than anything.
The 007 cinematic universe. I'm sure that'll be like a Blu-ray bundle in like 5 years.
Yeah, we'll see. I just want Bond movies, nothing else. No,
Yeah.
I don't want no post-credit scene, no spin-offs, nothing. Just Bond.
I've heard from videos of like movie theater employees where they're like annoyed with Marvel movies at this point because now everyone thinks there's a post-credit scene after every single movie.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I bet you for when Tarantino's I bet you for when Tarantino's final film comes out, people are gonna be like waiting to see. Oh, is he gonna hint his next novel or something? Like, I
Put his Venom in it?
I want Tobey Maguire. Where was the fifth Spider-Man? Oh, man.
Is this like what part of the multiverse is this?
Is this 616 or is this our Earth? Or are they the same in this universe?
Oh, man.
Oh, it's ruined so much. But at the same time, it is kind of groundbreaking, so you got to give them that.
Yeah.
All right, so I know you're out of picks. I've got 2 left, so I'll just briefly talk about them. My second favorite movie character of all time is Daniel Plainview, portrayed by
Nice.
I almost said portrayed by There Will Be Blood, portrayed by Daniel Day-Lewis from There Will Be Blood. I think this is one of my favorites. It kind of goes between this and Taxi Driver for my favorite film, but Daniel's such an interesting character. His morality, his child abandonment scene is shocking in a way. And when I first watched it, I didn't really understand what was going on. I thought he just straight up left him on a train for dead. I didn't think that he was actually like sending him to a school.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I was kind of like HW in that situation where I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but he's such an interesting
He's not
character
that
to watch.
much of a monster.
Yeah, he's not that bad. He's just trying to give him an education. It's so funny. All right, and then my favorite movie character of all time is the Joker from The Dark Knight, played by the late Heath Ledger.
Nice pick.
This is the movie that got me into film. I can vividly remember the first time I watched it on a like February night back in like 7th grade. It was great. I remember I had a test the next day that I didn't bother studying for. Instead, I watched the movie, but that's in the past. This film really did kind of shape the way I look at movies today, and this character was the first movie character I genuinely fell in love with. So
I saw it in theaters 3 times, and then I streamed it illegally every night for like a week after that.
Are you serious?
I watched it online, like, I'm not even kidding, like 8, maybe even 10 times over the course of like a couple of weeks. I was just obsessed with it.
That's awesome. I remember my buddy and I, we would sit in science class when we didn't have anything to do. We'd sit in the corner, and there's a YouTube edit, like I guess it's like an edit of the movie, but it's just all of the Joker's scenes. It's just all of them compiled into like 45 minutes, and we were bored. Like, hey, you watch The Dark Knight? He'd be like, yeah. So we would watch it all the time.
That's funny.
But so this movie brings back so many great memories. Yeah. All right, thanks for coming on.
That was a good couple of lists. Good
Yeah.
lists. I like it.
You too. You did a great job. Had some great characters that I need to familiarize myself with.
You have plenty of time to watch those movies.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere.
Sometimes it feels that way. Like one time I ordered a Blu-ray and I was like, what if this movie gets banned like the day I buy this? And no one will ever see it again. That's just the way my mind works.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem.
And good luck with the show. It's great. You're off to a great start, and have a great episode with James, my brother. I'm sure you guys are going to have a great chat about sports movies.
Yeah, the evil twin.
Yeah, the evil one.
All right. All right.
Take care,
See
pal.
ya. Bye.